Well, hello, Indiana. It is great for Karen and me to be back home again. And I want to say thank you to Curtis Hill, a son of Elkhart, Indiana, for doing a great job as Attorney General for the state of Indiana. And it really is great. It is really great to be here with a friend of mine. The man Indiana voted overwhelmingly to make the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump. You know, I'm here today because I stand with President Trump. And I'm here because we stand with all the great conservative leaders from Indiana who've supported our agenda, like Senator Todd Young, Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, Congressman Larry Bouchon, Jim Banks, and Congressman Todd Rokita. Give them all a big round of applause, will you? And my fellow Hoosiers, we're here because now that the primary is over, President Trump and I want Hoosiers to know, we also stand with the next great United States Senator from the state of Indiana, Mike Braun. You know, it's the greatest privilege of my life to serve as Vice President to President Trump. He's a man of his word. He's a man of action. And how about all the action this week? This president took action on Iran. We saw progress on North Korea, and the new American embassy will open in Jerusalem, the capital of the state of Israel, on Monday. You know, what the world saw this week is an American president who embraces his role as leader of the free world. It's true. President Trump withdrew the United States from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. He slapped sanctions on that leading state sponsor of terrorism. And early this morning, I stood on the tarmac of Andrews Air Force Base as President Trump welcomed 3 brave Americans back from captivity in North Korea. I'll never forget it. It was humbling for me to be there. And it never would have happened without the strong, clear, resolute leadership of President Donald Trump on the world stage. But you know, it's not just this past week. The truth is, the only way you can describe this administration over the past 16 months is with 4 words: promises made and promises kept. I mean, think about it. Think about it. President Trump promised to rebuild our military, restore the arsenal of democracy, and not long ago, he signed the largest investment in our national defense since the days of Ronald Reagan. This president promised to take the fight to terrorists on our terms, on their soil. And thanks to the courage of our armed forces and the leadership of this commander-in-chief, ISIS is on the run. Their caliphate has crumbled. U.S. coalition just captured 5 of their most wanted, and we will soon drive them out of existence once and for all. And here at home, President Trump promised to stand with those who serve on the thin blue line of law enforcement. And every day of this administration, we have worked to give our law enforcement personnel the resources, the tools, and the respect that they deserve every single day. And our president promised to enforce our laws and secure our borders. He's already signed the biggest funding increase for border security in nearly a decade. He sent the National Guard to the southern border, and this president secured funding for the first 100 miles of a new border wall. I'll promise you, when it comes to that wall, we're going to build it all. And this president also stood for all the God-given liberties enshrined in the Constitution of the United States, like the Second Amendment and the unalienable right to life. He promised to appoint strong conservatives to our federal courts at every level. And last year, President Trump set a record for the most Court of Appeals judges confirmed in a single year, and he put Justice Neil Gorsuch on the Supreme Court of the United States. It's been promises made and promises kept, my fellow Hoosiers. And since day one, this president's also been keeping his promise to get this economy moving again. He promised to roll back the heavy hand of government. President Trump has signed more laws cutting federal red tape than any president in American history. He promised to unleash American energy. We approved the Keystone and Dakota pipelines. We rolled back the Clean Power Plan. And President Trump put America first when he withdrew the United States from the Paris Climate Accord. And this president promised to crack down on unfair trade practices. And I can tell you, President Trump's been fighting every day for trade deals that are free, fair, and reciprocal, and put American jobs and American workers first. And finally, our president promised to cut taxes across the board. And with the strong support of every Republican in Congress from Indiana, President Donald Trump signed the largest tax cuts and tax reform in American history. It's promises made and promises kept. I mean, think about it. We cut taxes for working families. We cut taxes for job creators, businesses large and small. In fact, when we were cutting taxes, we also eliminated the individual mandate tax at the heart of Obamacare. It's gone. And President Trump's leadership has been making a difference here in Indiana and all across the country every day. Since Indiana voted to send him to the White House, businesses have created more than 3.1 million jobs, including 33,000 new jobs here in the Hoosier State alone. Manufacturers have added more than 315,000 good-paying jobs. In fact, there's been 8,000 new good-paying manufacturing jobs just here in Elkhart, Indiana. I mean, the unemployment rate hasn't been this low since the year 2000, and in fact, Elkhart County has the 5th lowest unemployment rate in America. I mean, as I stand before you today, my fellow Hoosiers, I say with absolute confidence, jobs are coming back. Confidence is back. And under President Donald Trump, America is back, and we're just getting started. But you know, despite all the progress we've made, we got a lot more work to do, men and women. But the truth is, our administration has faced unprecedented obstruction from Democrats in Congress. The truth is, Democrats have stood in the way of almost every major reform President Trump and I have put forward. It's been one obstruction after another by the Democrats, including Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly. I mean, look, Hoosiers deserve to know, time after time, when this president asked Joe Donnelly to support the policies that Indiana needs, Joe Donnelly voted no. When the time came to cut your taxes, Joe voted no. When the time came to repeal and replace the disaster of Obamacare, Joe voted no. When the time came to empower Indiana to defund Planned Parenthood, Joe voted no. You know, Joe's even thinking of voting no on Gina Haspel to be the director of the CIA, despite the fact Gina Haspel is an American patriot. It's been endorsed by CIA directors from both parties, including Indiana's own former Senator Evan Bayh. I don't know about the rest of you, but I think Indiana deserves better. My fellow Hoosiers, Indiana delivered for us in 2016, and President Trump and I know that Indiana is going to deliver in 2018 again. When we re-elect strong conservative leaders in Congress like Jackie Walorski, Larry Bouchon, and Jim Banks, when we elect new leaders in Congress like Jim Baird and a fellow named Greg Pence, and Indiana will deliver for America again when we send Mike Braun to the United States Senate this November. Mike Braun is a job creator. He built his business right here in the Hoosier State. He's a conservative who I've known for a lot of years. I know he's going to bring Indiana values to our nation's capital. And when Indiana elects him, I know Mike Braun will stand up for Hoosiers, and Mike Braun will stand with President Donald Trump. My fellow Hoosiers, I want to say from my heart, on behalf of my wife and I want to thank you for the honor you've given us to serve our state and to serve this nation as Vice President of the United States. Thank you. Karen and I will always be grateful for the support and the prayers of the people of Indiana, and we feel them every day. But looking out at all of you tonight, I just know, with your continued support, with strong conservative leaders representing Indiana in the House and the Senate, with President Donald Trump in the White House, and with God's help, we will make America prosperous again. We will make America safe again. And this man will make America great again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.